openly discovered you are gay, you are finished. You were beaten by fellow soldiers, the standard military way. When you are asleep, somebody puts a pillow on your head so that you don't see, and others take their belts off and beat. But at the same time, the whole daily life was absolutely penetrated by homosexual innuendos. Like in my unit, let's say we are friends. When I meet you in the morning, I don't say good morning, hello. I say I'll smoke yours. Vulgar expression for fellatio. And say, yes, go on after I finish smoking you. Something. So this is the key paradox, how the ultimate brutal oppression of actual homosexuality is accompanied by an explosion of homosexual innuendos. Or all this, it took me some time to get it, that there is nothing subversive in these military obscenities. Military discipline for itself doesn't work. It has to be supplemented by obscene rituals. That's why, as you said, Full Metal Jacket, but also, that's when some idiot asked me, what's your favorite American poetry? I said marching chants, those stupid Marine songs, like the one I always quote. It's like from that stupid, shitty movie with Richard Gere when he was younger.
Officer and a Gentleman.
Yeah, I don't know, but I was told that Eskimo pussies are rather cold. But what you have to see is that there is nothing of undermining military authority, whatever. Military authority.
No, that solidifies military authority.
That solidifies.
Yeah.
And many leftist idiots who still think irony, jokes are subversive. No, they can also serve power absolutely. They're the ultimate resort of power,
Yeah.
So things are more complicated. Again, don't misunderstand. I'm not just saying, hey guys, let's tell some dirty jokes. And although I must say here, you can use this if you dare. Here in the United States, what I hate is guys who want to provoke me, and then when they get what they ask for, they are shocked. Like once I was signing books, and a guy came to me and said, Professor, I know you like dirty jokes. Please, do it, dedication, write in a book, something really dirty. Then I warned the guy. I told him, listen, you're talking to a madman. If you ask for dirty, you will get it. He said, no, more dirty it is, you will get it. He got it. And then I wrote, I screw your mother standing up her ass in a dirty toilet with her knees in urine something. And the guy was hurt. Fuck him. I warned him 3 times, I hate people who this is for me the fundamental hypocrisy. Like, if you ask for something provocatively, be ready to get it. Don't play this game. Sorry, we got lost. Go on.
This is a good segue. Just in terms of being ready to get what you asked for. We got to ask you, our current presidential election, and particularly, just what do you make of the Democratic primary, and in particular, Bernie Sanders as he tries now a second time?
This is my old dogma. People thought that I'm crazy. I support Trump. I'm not crazy. Trump is a moral disgrace. I mean, Trump is a... No, it's even...
but you said that the election of Trump was the only thing that could open up the actual ideological crisis.
And it did. We have democratic socialists.
Yeah.
Without Trump, this wouldn't have happened, I claim. As a reaction to Trump, so the only political battle, the way I see it, now in the United States, is the one going on within the Democratic Party.
Absolutely.
Yes, we agree.
And what I like about them, here comes Bernie Sanders' genius, but unfortunately, from what I know, this heart attack was more serious, so he will be...
No, he'll be fine. He'll be fine.
You think so?
Yeah. No, I'm just saying it because, willing it into existence.
Yeah. No, we don't... Okay. No, what I want to say is this, that what Trump did is he disturbed this hegemonic peace. Till Trump... Republican, Democratic Party, there were tensions and so on. Of course, Democrats were not the same as Dick Cheney and so on. But basically, there was some understanding, They shared the same field, and that's always how politics works. It's not only just explicit rules. It's this, customs, unspoken rules, how you do things. And Trump disturbed this peace. You have now here some kind of a ideological civil war. And why shouldn't the left use this opportunity. Now, I don't know if you read my last piece published just digitally on this, where I go, and some people again accuse me, you defend Trump. No, I'm not.
Well, it's the idea that, like,
No,
you know,
sorry, just finish very briefly. You know, even this now impeachment process against Trump, I'm skeptical about it. Not only because you know, Trump talk a lot, but he didn't attack North Korea, he didn't attack Iran or Syria. He's much more cautious here. This is why many right-wing hardliners are beginning to doubt him. But I want to tell you another thing here. For me, this is a clear example of how ideology works. It's easy to attack Trump because he's obviously personally, if not corrupted, then immoral, whatever, opportunistic, whatever guy. But it would be much more interesting, and the lesson of the guys whom I admire, the triad, Assange, Snowden, Chelsea Manning, is to focus on, let's call it naively, evil, violation of human rights, blah, blah, which are part of the anonymous functioning of the state apparatus. You don't need an evil guy like Trump to see what NSA is doing in combination with Facebook, with Google, and so on and so on. That's why now in a text that appeared only digitally, I said I contrasted Trump with his great enemy, who probably personally is more or less, although I doubt, honest, James Comey in higher loyalty. I'm much more afraid of people who do the same stuff, the same, violating of human rights, blah, blah, just on behalf of some higher loyalty.
Right.
We should never forget that the problem today, digital control, oppression, and so on, it's not the problem of single corrupted individuals. I'm much more afraid of people who are sincere fanatics and think they are doing the patriotic duty and so on and so on. That's the problem I have with impeaching Trump. Of course, he should be not impeached. He should be arrested. Well, kill him. I don't care. What I'm just saying is, my fear is this one. I'm suspicious about this. I call it John Oliver, Jon Stewart leftist reaction, even Alec Baldwin. Let's make endlessly fun of Trump. Yes, you did this, and at the end he will be re-elected, and so on and so on. I mean, but maybe I'm wrong here. My old dogma about Trump was that, back to Bernie Sanders, that Bernie Sanders was the only hope. Why? As many, I have... Believe me or not, I have some connections there. Bernie Sanders is from Burlington. Burlington is the only department where my colleagues of cinema studies, Lacanian psychoanalysts are in power.
Really?
So I met then some people around around Bernie. Why I do confuse the two of them? That's very suspicious. And they told me this. We have the squad. And Trump tried to focus his criticism on the squad. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and so on.
Omar, yeah.
But the strength of Democratic Party would be to bring the squad together with Bernie Sanders, who stands for old white men. Sanders voters, I was told, in Vermont, are people who otherwise would have voted for Trump, maybe even. These ordinary impoverished farmers and so on and so on. This combination we should strive at. This was the greatness of Sanders. He mobilized for the left cause all these old-fashioned, even moral majority guys and so on and so on. So this is for me the only, and this is why I think, I cannot prove it statistically, but this is why Hillary lost. People, I had many connections. I met people, my son even volunteered to, my son who is from Slovenia, he was 18 years. He contacted, because he was with his mother in Ithaca, Cornell, and if Bernie Sanders were to be presidential candidate, the whole summer he was already in contact with Democratic Party committee in Ithaca, Cornell. He offered to walk door by door, work for Sanders, and so all these
offered to commit election interference.
Sorry?
offered to commit election interference.
Although I have to laugh, of course, you also, when I hear America say this, well, United States are interfering all the time in elections. Just they called it, we are helping democracy, if they are doing. No, but you know, that's the lie of the Democratic Party. Probably. I have no illusions about Trump's good friend Putin and so on.
Yeah.
But let's face it, I don't believe this was the key factor.
No.
The key factor was so many thousands, hundreds of thousands of Bernie Sanders partisans were disgusted at how Hillary manipulated him. He lost, I think, in my analysis, that was what ruined it, and so on and so on. Hillary should have made, instead of attacking Bernie, a more honest deal with Bernie. That would have changed.
But like, you know,
maybe I'm wrong. I don't know enough.
Speaking to how the election shook out, and you said I absolutely still right to choose Trump over Hillary because of
But
the reasons.
only because of this.
Oh
not
yeah,
now.
only because of the reasons.
No. His time is over.
Yeah,
I will
yeah.
write a new text. Now the left is revitalized. Now Trump
But
did
like
his duty.
the criticism of that is
Yeah.
that if you look at everything he's done, like a family separation on the border and like a sort of a nascent, I guess, white supremacist
And I know
politics in
healthcare
America.
and all this
We'll
stuff.
take this.
Here-
that now is the
here I will
time where
admit
we
you-
moderate conservatives. We need like a broad, popular anti-fascist front against Trump because. In the example of like Germany in the 30s, the Communist Party were like, great, Hitler's in power. Now all the
you
democratic
see, here
illusions
I always
go away.
emphasize. My
Yeah.
point is not the worse it is, all the better. I know
Yeah.
this was the catastrophic policy of the communists in Germany. First they hailed Hitler's
Yeah.
arrival to power. Fine, we have now pure confrontation. We know. First, I nonetheless think that, and I admit it. First, I don't universalize this. United States are a rich enough country, rich not in the sense of material, rich in the sense of the rich, complex texture of civil society and so on. So whatever Trump is, it's not simply a new fascist dictatorship. While for Europe, I worry much more. I would never have been for Boris Johnson in England. That's a much more serious threat. I would never have been for Marine Le Pen. But for me, I admit it, many real things were lost, like healthcare and so on. But maybe I'm here a little bit too much of an idealist, Leninist, leftist. What I saw in Trump is just someone who can trigger a revival of a slightly more radical left. It's not really radical. I found this ridiculous. Bernie Sanders, Venezuela. Look at his program. It's much less radical than average European social democracy half a century ago. That's our reality now. If today you repeat what European social democracy said half a century ago, you are Venezuela, communist, whatever, and so on and so on. So what I'm saying is that it's a very brutal, cynical calculus.
Yeah.
I still think it was worth the price if we will get an authentic left. And I agree with you. We need this broad coalition, but there are no pure compromises.
No, I'm not even saying I even
In
agree with that.
compromises, always somebody wins. And the left has now a unique chance to demand more.
But like this flattening distinction where it's just like everyone needs to come together and including the left should make common cause with Bill Kristol. And I'm saying, no, I think that would be a mistake. I think that would be a mistake.
Some of them even claimed now George Bush the younger.
Yeah, George Bush,
Who is
exactly,
nonetheless now
yeah.
because he said he will vote for Hillary, no?
Oh, great. What a good guy.
Yeah. No, but don't you feel that this did happen with Trump? Like, all of a sudden, before you had Republicans, Democrats, which are more or less, not quite, but more or less like, Coke or Pepsi or whatever. This standard opposition which really did mean anything. Now you finally get something that resembles a true political struggle here. I think this is a very precious. Sorry, another thing. Where the left should answer. Now, of course, many mainstream liberal economists say the left just wants to spend money and so on and so on. And the idea is this doesn't work, only brings bankruptcy. This is so stupidly wrong. I talked with many economists. They even were not, who said, let's look at World War II. You know that United States were not really out of crisis before World War II. What World War II meant is tremendous amounts of money spent in a non-productive way, arms and so on. At the end of World War II, do you know that if you take away all the military production and take just private consumerist stuff, United States produced more than ever private consumer. In other words, if we can learn anything from history, it's that if you do it intelligently, just print money, spend it, invest, they work. They work. And now I will give you another reason for this. Everybody knows this, that Reagan was doing this. Trump is now doing this. Trump is the wild Keynesian. Trump's politics, economic, insofar as it works, it's absolutely not this neoliberalist austerity. It is austerity against the poor. But he prints and spends money like crazy. Do you remember when Clinton was in power, the right wing was worried, Democrats just print money. Now Trump is doing this to an extent unimaginable before. The left should learn this lesson and be less afraid of spending money. Trillion is just a trillion. If you do it intelligently, you can do it.
First of all, Matt, you have a...
You are the dangerous guy. Yeah. You have this mean look at me. I wonder what he is getting ready for. Where are we? Sorry, do we have something like clock there?
It's about an hour.
We're at
Okay, let's go a little bit more. Yeah. I'm in a generous mood. I feel like Trump after he grabbed some nice pussy. If you dare to use this,
no cuts, no edits.
No cuts.
Okay, sure. I've got kind of an interesting
But you
question.
know how I would talk? Why didn't any Democrat do this? I would like to tell, why doesn't a Democrat in public debate tell Trump, now we Democrats know how to grab your pussy, and then hopefully Trump will answer, sorry, I'm a man, I don't have a pussy, and the answer will be, no, you are not a man. You are one big pussy, you know. Democrats should learn this. No, we should be polite, but don't you think with guys like Trump, selected insults, they should
Absolutely.
embarrass him.
My theory has been that that the leaders of the party should come out and accuse him of wearing a diaper. At all times. And then make him, because he would be obsessed with that and he would only talk about it and only talk about how he doesn't wear a diaper. And in everyone's mind, they would just be thinking of him wearing a diaper. It would annihilate him.
And of course, but you know the irony. In my shitcall of a country, Slovenia, it's not that Trump is popular, but Melania is one of us.
Yeah.
And I quite like this. Although I'm a leftist capitalist spirit, it's a small city town close to Croat border where Melania comes from. And now they're making big
Do they sell merchandise? And
Melania cakes, Melania wine, Melania champagne. You have a whole set of merchandise.
Well, she's a great success story.
Yeah, although I like this ironic argument, but it doesn't work. Trump is too obscene to hit him in this way. That new anti-immigration rules of Trump. Well, the first thing he should have done, if he were to follow his rules, is to send Melania back, you know. Sorry.
Yeah, so you've been following the Democratic election. And
More or less,
familiar
not really.
with this idea of electability, that most of the voters in the Democratic primary, they tell pollsters that the most important thing is that they can beat Trump. The most important thing is that they are electable. And to them, electability means that this candidate, it's usually Joe Biden is considered the most electable,
He's the most
that this candidate will appeal to an imaginary voter who voted for
maybe,
Trump
sorry, I
and
got
will,
your question.
someone who will be
Yeah.
acceptable. And this is something that we think about a lot and are kind of maddened by.
But be
that people
very
are
careful here. Be very careful here, because that's the mystery of the democratic process. Sometimes to be a little bit more radical makes you even more electable. The problem of democratic center is that they are also presented as inefficient, corrupted, part of the establishment, and so on and so on. But the biggest argument for me against this reasoning of electable is Trump himself. Almost to the end, he was considered inelectable. Too extreme, you cannot...
The Clintons tried to manipulate it so that he'd be the nominee because they thought he'd be easier to beat.
Yeah. You see, that's the lesson we should learn. It's not as simple as that. The political landscape, it's not as simple as that. Right, left, who gets the middle, and so on. It's much more complex. That's why, again, I like Bernie Sanders. No, it's not some abstract middle ground that we should get. We should aim at those disappointed lower classes who vote for Trump. That should be our target, not some of this imaginary middle and so on and so on.
What we imagine when voters, and I think people do this throughout the spectrum, even on the left. They think, my guy will appeal to this voter that I've conjured up, this other.
But this makes elections very